Hello, Eurovision fans. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. It's still a very, very long wait till the final of Eurovision 2024. And to make that wait a little less agonizing, I thought of doing this video where I list the 15 things I want to see at Eurovision 2024. I also asked you guys in the community tab of my channel what you would like to see. And I'm also going to talk about your comments at the end of this video, so stick around. Let's get right to it. The first thing I would like to see at Eurovision 2024 is a surprise return. We already have the return of Luxembourg, which was amazing, but it was announced a few months ago already during the Eurovision final. So it's not that big of a deal anymore, to me at least. I've thought about it a lot. So I would like to see another country return. I have the Monegasque flag here, which was to me the most likely return apart from Luxembourg. It doesn't seem to be happening. They have confirmed that they won't be returning, but I still have a sliver of hope that maybe they change their mind. Maybe Bulgaria will be back. Maybe Montenegro will be back. All of these would be surprises. Of course, Hungary and Turkey would be nice. I don't think that will be happening. But one surprise return, I would really like to see that happen. Second of all, I would like Petra Mede to host again. We're back in Malmö, we're back in Sweden. The last two times Sweden hosted, she was our host, once together with Måns Zelmerlöw, of course, and once alone. I know that she doesn't work for SVT, the Swedish national broadcaster, anymore, but they can make a contract for this one-off event, and I think it would just be great because she's a great host and she deserves to get closer to Katie Boyle's record of hosting Eurovision 3 times. I don't think she needs Måns, to be honest. Maybe pair her with someone else, but I would really love to see her humor and her whole attitude towards Eurovision back on that stage. Now, third of all, I would like to see more national language entries. If you have seen my videos from last Eurovision, you know that I am a sucker for national language entries. I just think that they give the songs a specific feel that you wouldn't get if they were sung in English. Like Cha 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 by Carrier just works so much better in Finnish, I think, than it would in English. It gives it this very special, atmosphere or feel. You have Italian that gives songs a specific theatrical and romantic feel. You have all these kinds of different languages that just make Eurovision what it is and why I fell in love with Eurovision. So this period in the 2010s where there were mostly English entries, I didn't quite like that so much because I really love listening to national languages. And I think a lot of you agree in the community tab of my channel. A lot of you said that. And we've also seen in the last couple of years that national language entries can do really well, and it might actually be an advantage to have the specific feel and sound and not be drowned out in a sea of entries in the English language, for example. I'd also love Ireland or the UK going for something a bit more regional, maybe like a Celtic language or something like that, to stand out a bit more as well. They don't have to sing in English, or maybe Australia can bring something in an Aboriginal language or something like that. I would really love to see that. Number 4, which kind of goes with number 3, I would love to see more traditional elements in the songs, like having 37 songs, pop songs in English with a slick and catchy chorus is interesting and nice. But what makes Eurovision Eurovision again are these ethnic and cultural elements added to the songs. And I would really love to see more of that. The Balkans are really good at that. Italy, Portugal are very good at that. But I'd love to see the Nordic countries, my own country, Germany, or the Netherlands also bring something with some more traditional elements in their entry. I hope that that will happen at some point at least. Number 5 is a Spanish or a French entry. I've written this down because Spain has waited 55 years since their last win, and France has waited 47 years. So most Eurovision fans from these two countries don't even remember their country winning. And I just think it would be a good thing for Eurovision also if another Big Five country, Spain or France, would win and the interest in the contest just grows a bit in these countries. Spain is doing quite well, actually, but France could really use a new impetus to really love Eurovision. And I think a French win might just do that. I also think that Spain kind of deserves to do well because they came up with the Benidorm Fest. They're trying new things. It didn't quite work this year, but I think next year they can come up with something really, really good. I do think that Spain should send something with a bit of a Latin influence because that's kind of in right now. And I also feel that's what people expect from Spain. Not that a country has to send what people expect from it, but if we want to see a Spanish win, I think they should send something a bit Latin-y at least. So I would be really, really happy to see Spain or France win and also to go to one of these two countries because I think they would make the show really their own and the show would really stand out with many cultural aspects from these two countries if one of them actually won. Number 6, I can tell you that countries should send entries in national languages and then leave out my own country. I think it's time for Germany to send an entry in the German language. I don't think it should be a Schlager written by Ralph Siegel, and it should also not be some very left field thing that only Germans understand. But having an entry in German might be the thing that makes us stand out a bit more. We are used to sending pop entries that are very mainstream, very middle of the road, not this year, but the years before that, and we usually get drowned out in the noise. And having a song in German might actually help us a bit, and I would really love to see that. German is an interesting language. It's a very poetic language. I think many people think it's very harsh, but if a Finnish song can come second, I think a German song can also do really, really well. Then, this is less something I want to see, but that I hope to see. Germany finally not coming last or second to last or even in the bottom 5. I hope we can find something. I'm not very optimistic because we haven't changed anything about the selection method, but I would really love to see a German song that doesn't end up at the bottom of the scoreboard. I don't think we deserved it this year. I do think we deserved it most of the years before that, but I just feel like if this continues happening, Germans might lose their big love that they have for Eurovision. And I don't want to see that. And Germany is an important market for Eurovision as well. So I hope we can find a song that doesn't come last. Do you think it's possible? Let me know in the comments. Now, number 8, no pre-recorded backings. This goes a bit with the ethnic elements, with the national languages. Eurovision to me always had this feel of a live show, of something very organic and very natural, not so much in the music or in the costumes that were presented most of the time. But having people sing live is something that doesn't really happen in TV that much anymore. And I think Eurovision really stood out for having this very natural sound. We can't get the orchestra back. I understand that because it's a big financial burden for the host broadcaster, and it's also difficult to learn 37 or 40 songs for an orchestra. But having non-pre-recorded and natural backing voices, I think, would be really good. I also think that the voice should be a part of the whole package. And if the lead singer just looks amazing and doesn't really know how to sing and then is supported by pre-recorded backing singers, I don't think that is really the spirit of Eurovision. So I would really like to get rid of the pre-recorded backings. It was supposed to be only for Corona, but it seems like they might be here to stay, unfortunately. Number 9 is Latvia or Georgia qualifying. Both of them have not qualified since 2016. Georgia has always sent interesting left field, very different entries. Latvia has had a few good entries, especially this year. It felt really wrong that they didn't make it to the final, and probably from semifinal 2 they would have made it to the final. So I really hope that these two countries finally catch a break and make it to the Eurovision final. Then I would like to see a great interval. We had great intervals in the 2 last times that Sweden hosted, the Smorgasbord with Petra Mede, and then the best interval act, I think, ever. Love, Peace, Peace, Love, Love. I don't remember what the song is called, but the song that Mons and Petra did together about the stereotypical Eurovision song, that was genius. I still watch that from time to time when I'm bored. And I hope they can come up with something as great as this. I would also love to see something that unites Europe in these very difficult times that we're going through. And I think if someone can come up with something amazing, it will be Sweden. So I really, really do hope that we will have a great interval act. Next up, I really liked this year that we had several rock entries, different genres of rock as well. And this is under the umbrella rock entries, but I would just love to see more genres represented at Eurovision. And having these many rock entries this year was a good start. And I hope that continues in a way that rock bands really see this as a potential career starter, like for Måneskin. And I think also some of the bands that participated this year had some concerts in Europe after the contest. And for people to realize that it's not a pop contest or Schlager contest anymore, that really any kind of music is welcome and can actually do well at this wonderful contest that we all love. Number 12, this is kind of an interesting dream, would be for Luxembourg to come back after 30 years and win out of the blue with something that they came up with. They are organizing a great national final. They have a Twitter account, which is really lovely. They're posting all the time. They're really into it. So I do think they can come up with something great. And I think it's actually an advantage that they don't really know what Eurovision is, and they're just going to try to find a good song like Italy does every year. They had this advantage as well, where in other countries people thought, oh yeah, we have to send a Schlager, really over the top performance, and then we will do well. And Italy just sends whatever Italy wants to send. And I kind of hope that the same will happen with Luxembourg. So Luxembourg winning would be a great, great thing in May 2024. Number 13 is Australia Stays. This has been a discussion for a long time. I have made videos on this. If you're interested, I do think they will stay because the EBU has an interest to have them, because they pay a participation fee, make it less expensive for other countries to participate. And also they should have an interest in participating in this great show and also giving Australian artists the possibility to promote their music to a giant audience, the audience of Eurovision. So I do think that Australia will stay, and I will be very happy when and if and when that happens. Number 14, unexpected countries doing well or even winning. I'm always happy, like North Macedonia, when they did well with Proud and Tamara Tudevska. I was so happy to see that flag up there, where usually you have Italy and Sweden and Norway, and then you have the North Macedonian flag. This year, I would love to see, I don't know, San Marino, Lithuania, Latvia, Georgia. As I said, I would love them to qualify, but even do much better. So I'm always happy to see these countries that usually don't do that well. Ireland, maybe Ireland can come up with something. Or Denmark. We haven't seen Denmark in the top 10 for a while. So that's something I would really love to see and would be really happy about. And last but not least, an ABBA reunion. I know this is not going to happen. It's 50 years after their win. And I just think this would be an iconic moment in Eurovision history if they actually came together on that stage. They don't have to perform, just come together, start the voting, or hand over the trophy to the new winner, together with Loreen maybe. I just think it would be nice. I know that they already said that they're not going to do it, but they have a show to promote, they have a museum to promote. Maybe they can be convinced that an audience of 180 million people is actually something that they should be taking advantage of. These are my 15 things I want to see at Eurovision 2024. But before you leave, I also have your comments, or some of your comments, from the community tab of my channel. Thank you so much for participating. One comment is Pam Rabbit finally making it to Eurovision, and then something that I have mentioned, a country winning that hasn't won yet. My favorites for that would be Georgia, Lithuania, Iceland. Yeah, I would love Iceland to win, actually. Armenia or Czechia, and also an unpredictable winner. I can subscribe to all of that. Then Alexandereno3812 says Johnny Logan. I love this comment. Johnny Logan representing Ireland a third time would be hilarious and iconic. I agree that it would be hilarious and iconic. Not sure that it would help Ireland get a good result, but having Johnny Logan back, almost in a way that he is irked by the fact that Loreen now has 2 victories as well. I know he has 3 as a songwriter, but 2 victories as a performer, and him coming back to just set another record would be kind of hilarious. And I think the interviews with him would be something to watch as well. I don't think it will be happening. Then Mrs. Snake Glasses says, I'd love Alligator for Germany. Songs like Nachbeben could really be successful if done right, but I know it's not going to happen. Now, I listened to a few Alligator songs, and I'm not sure you're right. To be honest, I don't really see the great potential in these songs. The style is interesting and different, and it would be something in German, which I said I wanted for 2024, but I'm not sure that this will really get us on the path to a good Eurovision result. Then Silent Station says, first time winners singing in their native language. I completely agree with that. Trambus1144 says, a nation that has never won or a nation that won a long time ago actually winning the trophy. Completely agree. I talked about France and Spain. But also so far this decade has been very boring winner-wise. Nothing against Ukraine or Sweden, though. That's kind of true. We had a third victory for Ukraine, a seventh victory for Sweden. So seeing a country that hasn't won in a long time would be really cool, actually. Then Liam Tronquist says, underdogs getting some appreciation, Slovenia, Montenegro, or Albania, for example. Some countries really have to think about what they will do next year. Otherwise, the interest will die out completely in their countries. I mentioned that as well, and I completely agree. Denmark, Germany, Ireland, Latvia, Georgia, and Romania. I hope Romania will actually be back. So I hope at least one of these get a good spot. As I said, completely agree with that. The next comment is Tom Catwick. Some things I want to happen. Petra Mede and Mansamalov hosting together again. Yes. Symphonic metal, hopefully a band with a female singer from a combination of either Finland, Germany, or Netherlands, and Rina Sawayama maybe getting her apology and representing the UK. I think that symphonic metal would be an interesting thing. It's kind of strange that we haven't seen that at Eurovision because I feel like it would be a really good fit, actually. Then we have Stonebrook 83, Isabel Usher Mo Fruike Karsu with parts in Turkish, or Soy Tamuran for the Netherlands. Probably pronounce all of these names wrong, sorry. I would be proud to have any of these young women represent our country. I would love it if Ireland came back with a banger and finished top 10. I agree. Nightwish for Finland, a song in Swedish for Sweden, Rina Sawayama for the UK, Electric Fields for Australia, Fado Bicha for Portugal, the debut of South Africa and the Philippines at the contest. And obviously Petra to host. So two things, Sweden singing in Swedish. Yes, it's not just Germany singing in German. I also want Sweden to sing in their native language. You have won 7 times. You're hosting it again. Just send a song in your own language. That would be really, really fun, I think. And then South Africa and the Philippines. I know there's lots of fans in these two countries, but not sure I want Eurovision to become World Vision and having all of these new countries join. I'm not 100% sure. Australia kind of makes sense to me, but adding more countries, I'm not that sure about, to be quite honest. Sorry, Philippines and South Africa. And then Bethy and Brooke says, I want Latvia and Georgia to qualify. Yes, I want the UK to try something different. I don't know what, maybe like singing in Welsh or Gaelic. I also mentioned that. We always send English pop and I'm bored of it. I'd love for Petra to host again, absolute icon, and I'd love a new winning country too. I really hope Germany don't come last. Again, that's a great comment to end this video with because it kind of summarizes a few things that I have said, that you guys have said in the comment section. Let's see what happens. In a few months, we will know what we will actually see at Eurovision 2024. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get news updates, also videos on Eurovision history, more videos like this one, and I'll see you for my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.